Hey, what's up everybody, this is Hacks to Max bringing you my very first ever upload onto YouTube. Yes, I know, please hold the applause. I know all 11 of you have been waiting anxiously for this battle, but anyways, before I get started, I would just like to thank a couple people for letting this happen and starting my YouTube career. So, first of all, I would like to thank PZCryptic1 for designing my channel thumbnail. If you guys haven't seen it already, it looks really awesome. And hopefully he's gonna do my channel background as well, so stay on the lookout for that. Secondly, I'd like to thank NoName4505 for actually just being my first sub. I mean, I didn't have any friends on YouTube, and he was one of my first friends, so he's a really awesome guy, and you guys should really check him out. And lastly, but most importantly, I would like to thank TJ, but as all of you know him as the Ibanez Obsession, and this is because without him, I would not be here right now narrating this battle. Because he really helped me with all the rendering and Camtasia, uploading, editing, all that stuff. Because I had no clue about any of it until he helped me. And he's also one of my really close friends. So you guys should check out his channel if you haven't already, which I highly doubt because all the subs I've been getting lately have been his. So yeah. But speaking of TJ, this is a battle I had against him. It was one of our better matches because whenever we battle, our matches tend to be a little bit lopsided. One of us tends to get all the hacks and the other one ends up raging at the end. So this wasn't a pretty epic match, and let's get started right away. So he needs help with his jolting as I lead off with my Scarf Rotom. And here, because he led with it, I thought he was Scarfed and go for the Volt Switch, and I would go second and Volt Switch after him to get switch advantage, but no, he has to be MLG and run a sub-baton pass set, which is like, what? Who runs that right now? Oh my gosh. But anyway, he switches out into his Politoed to get his rain up, and I just went for another Volt Switch because I am Scarfed, but he switches out into his Jolteon predicting that, which is like, this Jolteon's kinda trolling me right now early on in the battle. I mean, turn 3, come on. So I have to switch out into Celebi because I don't want any of these more shenanigans. So he actually decides to Baton Pass out into his Dragonite, and because he did that, I was fearing an offensive Dragonite set with the Hurricane, so I switched out into my Tyranitar because, hey, Sand is grand. And this is my Bandit Tyranitar, and Bandit Tyranitar is a monster. It was a beast this game. More people really need to run this thing because look at what it does this battle. He goes for a sub with his Dragonite, and I did see a leftover, so I'm not fearing an offensive set anymore. I go for a Crunch to break his sub, and as you'll see, this Claw does absolutely nothing, so I do not have anything to fear from this thing. So I just go for the Crunch, and even if it's a bulky Dragonite, this Crunch does a lot. That's a 2-hit KO on that bulky Dragonite. So that just goes to show you how powerful this Bandit Tyranitar is. But he just goes for the Roost and gets all his health back, which is like, you're like wasting a turn now. So, but he switches out into Politoed, mostly just to get his rain up and hoping he can take a Crunch better. But Bandit Tyranitar is too powerful, and that Crunch almost goes that Politoed. But I was fearing him outspeeding me, because I didn't know what set he was yet, and I didn't want a burn with Scald, so I switched out into Celebi. He predicts that nicely and goes out into his Tornadus, and I did not want to take a U-turn or Hurricane from this thing, so I switched out into my Heatran, and this was a really bad play on my part, because this is a Balloon Heatran, and he just goes for the U-turn, which does nothing, but it does pop my balloon, and I completely forgot he had a Duck Trio on his team, which is like, he's just gonna kill me with an Earthquake, and I'm down 6-5, and I've lost my only check to this Tornadus. So yeah, now that Tornadus is gonna be a huge threat to my team because I have nothing to switch in on it. So I just go out into my Gengar and this Duck Trio, hoping he can't really touch me, and I just go for a sub on the switch as he does decide to switch out into his Jolteon, and here he decides that it would be a good idea to set up a sub for him as well, which is like, alright, substitute party, let's go. But Gengar just decides to be a party pooper and break his sub with a Shadow Ball. As here next turn, he just decides to go for a Thunder to break my sub, so that was kind of a quick party, I guess. But I go for a Shadow Ball, and that does over half to this Jolteon, so that is a 2 KO, but I do not want to take a Thunder from this thing, so I have to switch out into my Celebi just to take a resisted Thunder, which it does very nicely. And here I just wanted to finish this Jolteon off with a Psychic, I believe. But he decides to save this thing. Yeah, see, he's too MLG to switch. He has to Baton Pass out instead into his Tornadus, but as I just go for a Psychic, and that is a nice chunk of damage on that Tornadus. That's a 2 KO right there. But again, this Tornadus is a huge check to my Celebi, and I do not want to take any move from this thing with my Celebi. So I go into my Scizor predicting another U-turn, but here he just decides to go for a Hurricane, and from that damage, I know that thing is Specs now. But anyways, I make another bad play here because I am not the Choice Band Scizor. I am my Tyranitar has a Choice Band, so I'm actually the Sword Stance Life Orb variant. And if I had gone for the Roost here, my Scizor would have still been alive against that Jolteon. But because that Tornadus was such a huge threat, I could not risk going for the Roost because I really needed that thing dead. So anyways, that turns out to be a double down, and so he goes out into his Dragonite as I go back out into my Scarf Rotom, and I just go for the HP Ice, and that does a nice chunk of damage to that Dragonite. But because it is bulky, it is barely able to take that HP Ice, but it doesn't matter because next turn I will be able to take it out, as that Dragon Claw only did about half to me. So that's great for me, and this battle just became 4-4. So I've tied things up here, but he goes out into a Starmie, probably knowing I'm Scarfed by now. So I have to switch out into my Celebi because Celebi is a huge threat to his Rain team, but he makes a double switch into his Tornadus, which was a great play. So I kind of have the feeling he wants my Celebi gone by now, because he always switches out into his Tornadus on this thing. So here is the turning point of the game right here. I go out into my Rotom Wash, not wanting to take any move from this thing, but if he went for the Hurricane right there, my Rotom Wash would have been gone, and he would not have been forced to send in his Duck Trio on that U-turn. So I'm just able to smack that Duck Trio with that Pump, and that'll bring it down to a Sash, and as he just goes for the reversal to take me out. But that's fine with me because I still have my Gengar left, which at this point in the battle I wasn't sure if I completely walled his set yet, because I did not know his fourth move, because I just found his third move in Stealth Rock right here. So I just went for the sub on the off chance he wanted to do something else. So here he goes for the Earthquake, and that is just like, yes, because once I kill this thing with the Shadow Ball, I am behind the sub, so that ensures my Gengar is safe from one move, because Gengar is pretty frail. So he goes out into a Starmie, and because I am behind the sub, he has to break it with an Ice Beam, as I just go straight for a Shadow Ball, and that completely OHKOs that Starmie. So that is a dead Starfish, ladies and gentlemen. But he did break my sub with the Ice Beam because he did outspeed me, so he just able to send back in this big threat, which is like, if only I had my Heatran left. So he just goes with Hurricane and just takes me out. So that wasn't cool. Choice Specs Tornadus, just like Choice Band Tyranitar, is very powerful. But I go out into my Tyranitar now just to get the Sandback up and making Hurricane not 100 accuracy move. And I just go for Bend and Crunch because I know it'll take out his last two remaining Pokemon. And he just has to go out into his Politoed to get his Rain back up, so his Hurricane will have 100 accuracy once it switches back in. I just go for a Crunch to take that thing out with a Critical Hit, which absolutely did not matter. But now he can switch back into his Tornadus with the Rain. So I'm forced to switch out into my Celebi as Death Fodder. Firstly, just to see what he wanted to lock himself into, which he does choose to lock himself into the Hurricane. So because of that, I am able to switch back into my Tyranitar, get the Sandback up, make Hurricane a not 100 accuracy move anymore, and I was hoping he would really miss here, but as you'll see, he actually does hit the Hurricane, but Tyranitar is able to live it, and there's no Confusion Apps, and I'm able to go for a Bandit Crutch, and it'll take it out. So, whew, that was a really close game, TJ. So anyways, that was good game. It was really one of our better matches, but as I said, you guys really should check out Ibanez Obsession's channel if you haven't already. And I hope you guys really like my first narration. I know it probably wasn't that great compared to a lot of other people, but it is my first, and I am planning to continue this. If you want to see me grow a lot more as a commentator and a narrator, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. But a like or a comment would be very much appreciated as well. And I can't promise I'll upload another battle this week I am pretty busy, but expect to see a lot from me in the future. So thanks guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.